All right, milestone, episode 40.
This is episode 40, man.
Episode 40, bro.
This is nuts.
Dude, I've done 50 some shows of putting you in your place, 40 some shows of now finding your place. You know,
right.
It's it's comfortable.
Right.
We want more attention. We want community support. We want to be able to like transfer everything that we know to a guy like you, help you build your platform, help you, get your voice out there, see if what we've done actually will hit for somebody that's not, like I always kind of like lessen my value here because I'm a sales guy, I'm a real estate agent. That's what people know me as. And it's tough. Like, it gets uninteresting. I feel like sometimes, even though there's people like me that have big followings, I think I can do the same stuff, but maybe I'm just not consistent enough, or I'm not, in my niche enough or something like that. We're trying to figure that out. But for you, we know what you are. You're a comedian. You're an influencer. You're somebody that's, going to be a voice of the community in a uplifting, funny way. People love that.
Right.
So like, I feel like we have a lot more opportunity to be successful with you quicker because we are very focused on what you are going to be and who you are and what your goals are. I'm still figuring that out,
Well, I would say don't be so hard on yourself too, because you have a lane that I cannot tap into. You have a knack for certain things, and I feel like you're bringing other people onto your team in the lanes that you don't feel as versed in. So if I have needs in the real estate field, I'm not going to get on here and talk about that.
Hey, bro, I'm not a rapper. I'm a producer.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like the Dr. Dre trying to find the talent, because we know how to push the buttons.
Right.
We've done all the hard work, heavy lifting to create the studio and put a guy like you in here and, help build you up to whatever it is that we thought you could be.
And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, because I really feel like it's a team. Like, I've been here with you guys from the start. I've been here when we had multiple different locations within this building, and I would not be able to do what I'm doing without you and Weston. I had the vision. You guys had the critique, the motivation, the platform, and once we put all that together, now we have something that's rolling.
We did what was necessary for us to all take action.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right. I've had people reach out to me this week from the recruiting stations in this local area from the military. They want to come on the show. They want to reach out to the areas to let people know, hey, the Army is offering some amazing bonuses right now, some jobs. I've had people I went to high school with reach out to me and say, Derek, I had a rough week. I listened to your podcast last night when I was cleaning my house, and I love it.
Heck yeah.
It put me in a better mood. I want people to feel like this is something tangible they can reach out to. When you see me out, when you see me in the stores, you know me. Come up and holler at me. Tell me what you think, good or bad.
Honestly, that's fun.
It's fun.
When I'm walking into Walmart and they're like, what's up, Scott? I have no idea who they are.
Right. Shout out to Kyle Houck. Shout out to Tim Scott Dupree. I spoke to Kyle. He's a sergeant first class in the United States Army. Me and him wrestled together. We were good friends. He reached out to me and said, hey, my station commander would love to come on the show and talk about the things the Army is providing now. Probably a lot different from when I was in, because I was in a long time ago and they did things a lot different. We didn't have, I don't know if they're still doing stress cards in the basic training. We had a very rigorous training, and I think it should be like that. It should be the hardest thing that you go up against. I'm thankful for Justin Kelly, Danette Travis, all these different people that reached out to me that have tapped into the show. I've gotten so many messages, and it's because of this platform. It's because of putting you in your place, finding your place, that got me to Steak and Sauce Podcast, because I always wanted to do something like this, but I wasn't pushing myself hard enough. These have been the most uncomfortable things that I've ever done. I kid you not.
But dude, 4 years ago, how many ever years ago it was when you was in that first studio we set up? It was all conditioned. It was all putting you the mic in front of you. It was putting the camera on, lights on, like knowing that this is going to be out there, that type thing. It's just conditioning you for comfort, because everybody's got that fear, that anxiety, oh, like I don't like the way my voice sounds the first time they hear it and all that stuff. Like it's we just put in the work, man.
We did. We've been grinding. A lot of people don't see what we've been doing. Weston helping me out, you helping me out, me running my ideas by Weston and him. It's like Weston's like the Hype Williams, the new age Hype Williams, and everybody knows how extraordinary Hype Williams is as a producer. He's taking my ideas and bringing them to life. Yeah. I have great ideas. Yeah. I have a wicked pen, I would call it. Yeah. So I feel that in the position that I'm in right now, there have been so many people that almost kept Derek from being Derek. There are so many people that I saw that were like, hey.
Almost one of them was Derek.
Oh, yeah, the biggest one was me. Derek was getting in Derek's way. I didn't want to come on to a podcast and be filmed because I didn't like the way my voice sounded. I didn't like that I had gained a little weight. I didn't like a lot of things about myself. But you know what I said? Heavy D, rest in peace, was a bad man. Heavy D got on stage and danced and would sing. He didn't care about how he felt or about his part, He got out there and performed, and people loved him for it to this day. So I got to look at it as a sense of, if I'm going to do something for myself, it's got to be internal motivation to make a pathway for me to have a healthier lifestyle. But healthy lifestyle just isn't how many steps we get in a day. What are we ingesting? What are we listening to? What are we telling ourselves? I don't care what you hear from other people. You have way more conversations with yourself on a day-to-day basis, and take account. I want everybody out there, if you're having conversations with yourself, take account to what are you telling yourself? How much positive things are you telling you every day? And if you say it and it feels weird and you don't believe it, it's because you haven't told yourself that enough. So every day when you get up, get in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm going to crush it today. Tell yourself, make your I changed some of my passwords to motivational things because I type it all the time.
Heck yeah, bro. I think anybody in their mind talking negatively to themselves, it's someone else's voice, because we are not built to have that internal voice talking bad about ourselves. So someone else's voice has infected us, right, to make us think and feel that way about ourselves. Right. That's not us. You got to go find you. You got to go love you. And as soon as you do that, then you take action based on the things that you actually want in your life. That's my opinion, Right. I feel that, like I said, the biggest person in my space was Derek. After that, it was some friend, some family that would tell me, oh man, you're crazy. We can't believe you said that. Well, you should have been at the show and seen the reaction from the people when I said it. Because I created that, I came up with that. And I feel like if I listened to people, I would not be doing this. If I listened to people, I would not be pushing myself. I love the fact that when I get on stage, I can say whatever I want. It is a great feeling. Honestly, man, I hate that I didn't get out there last night, because I want to be able to, like, even this is just the perfect moment after you got on stage to be like referencing that one joke and how you got there and whatever. Right. But I'm gonna catch that Roanoke paid gig. Yeah. And we need to get something scheduled shortly after that, because after every time you step on stage, it's just gonna be something new to come and talk about and go deep on, and like, hey, what did you mean by that? Or, like, just be able to reference that and like hype that show up and like make the people out there hate that they missed it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You should have been there. It was a movie. Yeah. I'm going to look back and tag the people that were there last night. A big shout out to Bull and Bones in Blacksburg Comedy Night. A big shout out to Doc and Robbie. Yeah, and
Robbie's the one keeping it organized.
Robbie's keeping it, and Robbie has helped me get tapped in with so many people. Shout out to L.A. Preston. Shout out to Mark Mitchell. Shout out to a lot of people who helped me get gigs lined up and getting plugged in, because I'm going to really push this. Last night, it was great because I ran a bit about you. Everybody out there that's using these vapes, it's changing y'all. These vapes are, y'all acting totally different with these vapes. I'm telling you, I don't know what's in it, but I ran a joke about that. And I said, people with vapes, like they start distrusting their family members when they lose their vape.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I don't know y'all tap in with me. Let me know what's going on with these vapes because I don't have any idea. But
if my ex went 15 minutes without that vape, it was over.
It was over.
We were heading to the store.
Hey,
we were heading to the store.
People get aggy when they listen. They don't find that vape. I'm telling you, they'll lift the car up. I'm telling you.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
It's crazy, but I'm thankful that your platform is going to continue to grow. You project the way, Scott, the way that you project your humor, the way that you maneuver, nobody else can do that. So stay in that lane, you know, because I had to think to myself, okay, I was watching a lot of comedians and a lot of people that are influencers to me. And I was like, you know what? They found their own lane. And I think that's the beauty of this. I don't know which one I love more, being on a podcast or doing stand-up comedy, but I feel like both of them can really mesh well together.
It's just a piece of the pie, bro.
Piece of the pie. And for everybody that's reaching out, for everyone that wants to come on the show, I do need to formulate some type of scheduling and a process because I want to get everybody on here. Shout out to Dennis Haley. He's been a big supporter. Shout out to everyone that has reached out to me personally. I know I'm forgetting people, but I appreciate you.
I have had Dennis on the show.
Right.
And I like what Dennis is doing, managing talent, you know, the athletes, you know, in the area. I'm interested in that. I mean, talent representation is something that I'm definitely scoping, putting my eyes on, you know, like, you know, when Pepsi comes and tries to get you an endorsement deal, we need to know how to negotiate that.
We need to know how to negotiate. And let's speak it into existence now.
Exactly.
You know, hey, Coke products, Gatorade, I'll do bath soap. I don't care. Hey,
if the check's right.
The check is right, baby. I'll get on there and talk about soap in a way you ain't never heard before.
You have a shower bit.
I got a shower bit. Some of y'all are still not lifting up y'all's feet in the shower. I've said it plenty of times. The water running down your leg is not sufficient enough to clean your feet. There were two women after last night's show. I will not say their names, but I got permission to use this material.
Yeah.
They both told me that they were around 40 years old and that they still go anywhere from 24 to 48 hours without showering. And I said, whoa, wait, are you serious? She said, yes, because during the show last night, there was a girl that smiled during the set, and I pointed at her and I said, I don't feel that you lift your feet in the shower. So after the show, I went up to her and I apologized. And I said, listen, I don't know if you do or not, but I'm sorry. She said, no, it's fine. She goes, I love the fact that you picked on me because that's what you can expect from a comedy show. She said, however, to add to what you're saying, I also skip showers. Her idea is that if she gets in the, you know, if she works out in the morning, why would she wake up and take a shower before her workout? Which makes perfect sense. But she did tell me that her husband often gets on her case about not lifting her feet up and washing her feet.
So it's true.
It's true. So she told me, like, yes, I get in the shower and I don't pick my feet up. And she's like, I go several days without showering. She said during COVID, her and her husband would order wine that would get delivered to their house, and they would sit around in their sweatpants, stanking and funky, drinking wine, and they had an amazing time. And I said, listen, if that's what does it for you,
to each your own.
To each your own. But I'm using this material in my next one because there's a population of you guys out there that are not bathing correctly. You're skipping showers. You're not brushing your teeth. You're not doing a lot of things. And there's no one there to tell you to do these things. But I'm knowing that every show, there's at least 5 to 10 of y'all who may be a little bit under the standard for personal hygiene.
It's amazing how you veer off when your mom's not there to tell you to brush your teeth and comb your hair
and do these things. You know, hey, how many? I'm gonna do a challenge. Y'all tap in. I want everybody to get out of the shower, take a clean white washcloth, put a little bit of witch hazel on it or alcohol, rub it behind your ear and at the bottom of your neck after the shower and post the results. I'm telling you, you will be surprised. Some of y'all ain't even touching behind y'all's ears when y'all get in the shower. Okay? I'm just letting you know how people are walking around. Right. And this was a very pretty lady. She was gorgeous. Mom of like 4. And she told me, Derek, I put clean sheets on my bed And then I feel bad because I'm laying on them after 2 days of not showering.
Gross.
What? What's the purpose? But you know what? She doesn't care, and I love that. No one's going to tell her that she has to shower. Who made that rule? Right? Now, me, I can't do that.
You take a couple of showers a day, don't you?
Because I'm a big dude, and y'all know how we got to stay fresh. If you hug me, I smell good. That's because I stay clean, especially in the summertime because
Oh, man.
I sweat tying my shoe. So, you know, it has to be like that. But what I've been experiencing in this field of stand-up comedy is that when people come out, they are coming out for fun, for a release, for a break.
Escapism.
Escape, right? And I'm not saying you have to stay there, but I definitely want to perform and put on a good show because these people are there and they want to. I know what a good laugh will do for you. I know what friends and familiar faces and encouragement will do for you. So I'm also taking on the constructive criticism. I want people to let me know what they feel like I can do better. People reach out and say, hey, Derek, you did great, but next time involve the crowd more. Okay, did that.
I told you you need to work on your freestyle comedy.
Right.
Like, are you heckling me? Oh, I got you, bro.
Right. If you'd have been there last night, there was a girl that was sitting in the back. Shout out to her. I did a bit about vapes, right? She had a vape. When I did the bit about who uses loofahs because they're disgusting, she also raised her hand. I said 2 for 2 in the back. She was like, I'm sorry, I do. I was like, and you only have one loofah. You don't have multiple loofahs. So you're recycling that loofah around your body in a very unclean way. And she busted out laughing. So shout out to her. But I really want to continue to interact with the audience. A big shout out to my family and everybody who's been supporting me. I'm not going to lie. There's already been 4 or 5 times that I've thought to myself since I've started, like, nah. But it's only because it's uncomfortable. It's pushing me to write. It's pushing me to want to perform and have a good show.
Bro, it's taking your time.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's like, you know, you go and you do your day job, you're wore out, you got to go meet these obligations you've put yourself into by getting on stage, and it's costing you time.
It's costing time.
You know?
It's costing. I love being creative. I love writing jokes because if anybody knows me, half the stuff I say to y'all is a lie. I'm running my material on all of y'all. Right. And if I make up a story about some guy that tried to jump onto in the airport when people who have trouble walking, they ride on those carts.
Yeah.
And when they ride through people, they're yelling, cart, cart, cart. So I thought to myself, what if some dude used to camp out like in the airport and he would try to get rides back and forth and he tried to dive on a cart or something and the security guard like swerved or, I'm thinking of all these things all the time and I'm writing them down.
Nice.
And sometimes, and I got a good piece of advice from someone. They said, Derek, stop running all of your material with your family and friends. And the reason is because if they do come out to the show, I don't want them to have already heard 90% of what I'm saying because it may be a big portion of the crowd. Now, I also realize that I need to really dedicate time to sit down and watch my past performances because
crucial
because I realized that on my second show, I was doing this nervous pace. Now, everyone that's watched said, Derek, we can't tell you're nervous. Yeah. Looks like it's natural. Yeah. But I can tell in my legs because I was doing this rock, the big boy rock, I call it, and it's disgusting. I hate it. Yeah. So this time I tried to work on that. And I'm only going to be able to critique that by rewatching some of my videos and, oh, that joke landed well, or I should have paused longer, or I should have raised my voice when I said that or done something differently because it's like being on stage, like you're performing. Yeah. I love it, but there's a lot of things I'm still learning,
I mean, getting up in front of people and exposing yourself that way is a courageous act.
I don't mind talking about myself. Half of my jokes are hilarious stuff that I've done or has happened to me or an experience. And I feel like I'm taking the gas away from the audience. If I do get a heckler, What are you going to say about me I haven't already said about myself? You know? But I do got some in the bag to flame you.
Dude,
you know?
I am waiting for that.
You know,
I definitely want that recorded.
Yeah.
That first person that like comes across sideways or tries to interact with you,
Right.
tries to pull you off of your flow, and then you just kind of go after him and then get right back on track.
Right. I'll be like, dude, you're talking about me. I was like, I bet you $10 your girl won't give you the passcode to her phone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's ruthless.
Yeah, it's ruthless. You know, I'll flame you. I got some now. It's some real life stuff. But I really, really appreciate what we're doing. We're putting our heads together. I want to have you on my show as a guest. I want to continue to be on this show. I want to bring people. People are really starting to realize that we are providing something from a real place, organic place, and it's local, and they can tap into it. People are starting to realize, hey, Scott and Derek, we know them.
It's one of one. From what I can tell, I don't know. I mean, somebody might have this in their basement or something like that, but I mean, we've got dedicated space. We've got, people on payroll. This is something that we're trying to do. We're trying to do for as many people as we feel passionate about what they've got going on. Like Reggie.
Right.
Like Reggie, Reggie's
a beast.
Dude, 40,000 on TikTok. Actually, at his peak, it was over 100.
100. And I'm starting to get some of those, not near that. Reggie, shout out to you, man. I finally hit like 6,500 on a TikTok. I'm excited about that. Weston texted me the other night, hey, 100 subscribers. I went nuts. That's not nothing to some people.
Hey, that's a mark.
But it's a mark for me. People are really taking their time and really appreciating the platform that I'm trying to provide. I also want to bring the funny, but I want to bring the real too.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk to you about. I mean, I want to talk to you about some of the things that are going on in your life. How social life. Roe v. Wade just got overturned. You shopping for a house. All that stuff.
All this stuff. Yeah. Okay.
So let's just start there.
Let's
just get there. All right. So headlines, bro. Supreme Court. I mean, this is the type of stuff you're going to have to take, you can make jokes about it. That's what comedians do. They take tough situations and they bring a joke to the table, So like, can men talk about this issue? Like, is this a man's issue? Can we all be humans in this moment and say what's right and wrong? Or like, what's your take on what's just going on here on a Friday coming out with this news that, this big law that's been in our culture for 30 years, 40 years, how many ever years it is now, it's gone. It's overturned. Abortion law is now back in control with the states.
Republican.
Well, no. The states control this issue. It's no longer a federal issue.
They dropped it back down.
Yeah.
So, and I think I said Republican because it was a Republican ad that I read. I feel, and please let me finish before people come at my neck.
Yeah. And this is an issue that we're all going to be scrutinized for how we feel. Let's just get that out the way. But at the end of the day, it's a human right issue. It's a woman's issue. It's a lot of different layers to the issue that, you really got to go deep on and find the bottom line moral compass of it all, in my opinion.
You do. I feel that a woman's decision is ultimately going to be decided by her. And the reason I say that is because we're not looking at all the avenues, and I don't want to talk too much into it because I will get emotional, but what I've learned from women about how delicate it is to carry a child full term, and how it is a God miracle that a child develops and grows and has everything come at the right time in the right sequence, and it's amazing.
It's 400 trillion to 1
right
to be you.
That's crazy. I feel like women get put in a lot of circumstances. Let's say a woman's with a man and she realized that, hey, this man has several other children that he is not present for. He's probably not going to be present in my life to be a foundation for our family. I may not be ready to be a mother. I may not be in the realm to be a mother. Is that bad for her to make that decision? If a woman is attacked by a man, does she want to have a child by the man that attacked her? Does she want to be reminded of that? I'm not saying that I would just push someone to make the decision to do that, but I think the decision should be left with the person. Because if you have a young woman and she was attacked, I'm going to use that word because I feel safer with that word, by a family member, an older man, somebody that she's traumatized now. She has PTSD. She's going to need therapy now. Does she constantly want to be reminded of that event? You know? And I think some women get in situations where they're like, hey, I don't think that I can have a family with this man. I don't think that I'm in a position. I don't want to do this by myself. I was raised in a single parent home. I don't want to do this again. So I feel like a woman should have the discretion to make that decision on her own. I think men, we can have a thought. We can have a perspective, because I know there's some men that have been in a situation where they probably wanted that child and they probably didn't feel like they had a say, so they wanted to keep it. They were going to be present. They were going to be a provider, a supporter, a great partner. And maybe that other person was like, no, I'm not ready for this. So I speak for them too. But I feel like both people should come together and do what they feel is right. I don't feel like anybody at a state level or anything else should have control over what someone does with their own life and body. I feel like they have enough laws that govern us. They have enough things in place that keep us kind of robotic. So I feel like this is something that should be left up to, you know.
I am a proponent of get the government out of my life. Period. But what that also does is it puts God in control. It puts your moral compass in control. And what this is doing is dividing us up. It's putting us in a spot where people are not making responsible choices.
I see what you're saying.
Take all the predators out, take all of the assault out of this topic, because it's such a small percentage. What you say is the mother doesn't feel she's ready for the child equals I don't want to take responsibility for my actions. Okay? And that's where I am with it, is now that I'm a 39-year-old man. In my 20s, I was like, well, let me have some sex, and, you know, if it has we can go handle that. You know, we can go handle that if we have to handle it. But that's irresponsible. That's a child's mentality of, I don't have to marry this woman. I don't have to commit to this woman. If it happens, it happens. I'm just going to bow to my, animal instincts here. I'm not going to use my brain. I'm not going to use my heart, because if I was using my brain and my heart, I wouldn't do that without commitment. And if I do that without commitment, I've got to be man enough, and the woman's got to be woman enough to accept the responsibility of our actions. Bring that kid into this world and give it what it needs, because that child did not have a say in it. And at the end of the day, if we're advocating for human rights, the baby deserves human rights as well. And that doesn't need government say.
A voice without a voice.
Exactly. That doesn't need government. That's a God thing. That's a moral. That's morals. That's not. And I'm talking about, we're taking out the assault portion of it, because if you look at the stats, it's less than 1% of people that are having it.
So what you're saying is, and I thought back up, I thought you meant we'll handle this like, hey, we're going to come together. We're going to be a little family. We may not have the means, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
We may not have the means to do it, but hey, we're going to try. And I feel like I understand where you're coming from. This is not something that should be used as
birth control.
right.
It's not birth control.
It's right. It is not. And I do feel that even in that, as men, we will get our heads chopped for even trying to go into that realm a little bit. I'm not saying we can't.
No, I'm saying that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And what I just said is controversial, and I'm not apologizing for that stance because I know, I was raised to know what's right and what's wrong, and I'm a man talking about a woman's issue. Is that acceptable? That's why I asked you. Is that acceptable? Because I know that even some men out there that says just leave it to the woman. Like it's something it pretty much when they say that, it's just they fear the ramifications of their thoughts.
And you know what? The reason I like talking to you is because we have polar opposite opinions on things, right? I may play it a little bit safer in certain situations where you will take more of the risk, and there's certain situations I'll take more of the risk where you will play it safe, right? So in this situation, I completely understand where you're coming from. I side on the error of caution to say that, hey, I would be a little bit nervous to tell a woman, hey, this is not used for birth control, right? I would. Even though I feel like everybody deserves the right to make decisions, but I'm also like, hey, let these babies, we
need humans. We need humans.
Right. That's personal. That's personal. Yeah. And the only reason I say that is because I understand now how much has to go 150% correct for us to be here. Yeah. That's the only reason I'm saying this. Yeah. Also, from my personal life experiences, people that I've talked to, women that have experienced things that brought a lot of so many emotions into their life. I also feel that this is going to boil over the pot.
Oh, definitely.
100%.
I mean, civil unrest is inevitable over this situation. Things are going to burn tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. Like things are going to happen. Once this is really headline, I've only seen a couple of different things on Facebook. I mean, but this is going to be every post. It's going to be one of them things like, all right, we're done talking. Like it's tired of talking about it tired of seeing it down my feed type thing. And in my opinion, so it's that revolutionary. I mean, it's that big of a decision. It's one of the biggest decisions of our lifetime,
And so at this point, if a woman were with child and she did not want to carry that baby full term, she does not have the decision?
She does, but it's based on the state's laws.
State's laws, gotcha.
So all they'd had to do if the state that they were in didn't, they'd just find a state that did.
So they would have to travel.
They'd have to travel to do it.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it's still available.
Still available. But it's going to come with a lot more. It's going to be harder.
Yeah. And it's just going to take a little bit more consciousness of your actions.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You don't want a baby. Take responsibility.
Right.
Don't have the baby.
Right. Y'all might have to.
Y'all
might have to Netflix without chilling.
Exactly. Take
Netflix without the chill.
Like use your mind instead of
right
below the belt.
Right.
What your primal urges. Your primal urges in the moment. I'll tell you from experience. It's hard to get past.
It's very hard to get past. It's very hard to get past because when I want that filet,
dude, chop it up.
When I want that filet, hey, I don't care how long line it is at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sit.
Yeah,
but what it's going to come down to is we're going to be in a situation. I know y'all remember the movie Demolition Man. Okay.
That's what it's going to come to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get fined.
3 seashells.
3 seashells. We're going to get fined every time that we say a curse word. It's going to be a machine on the wall. And I'm going to say, damn. And it's going to say, kick and click out a ticket. Derek Nowlin, violation. And then we're going to be sitting in a room with these virtual reality, metaverse headgear. And me and a woman or some woman's going to be sitting across from me. And our
Virtual
connection is going to be virtual. And I'm like, no, I want that old school. No yeah. People love cutting grass because they love the way it smells. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what it's going to turn into. It's going to turn into I feel like a highly governed, highly politicized thing. Somebody just said no glove, no love.
Bro, I'm telling you right now.
Listen, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know about the glove thing. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm just gonna be your man, and you're gonna be my woman, and then we're gonna have proper birth control if we don't want to have a kid, and then that's what we're gonna do.
I'm literally speaking from a sense of, when it's hard to go back to using certain methods to prevent, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm running raw, baby, don't come to me talking about I need to feel it. So I'm just gonna tell everybody out there,
100% on that.
You're dealing with me, WWE, okay? But no, that's just a joke. But we are gonna have to take some responsibility, because I don't care who you are. We can all act like we don't know what we're talking about. We've all been in those situations where we've rolled the dice, and we have been in those situations where some of us have had situations where we may have been with someone. We're like, oh Lord, I'll never, get me out of this situation. And not for the child's sake, but just because you felt like, hey, I'm 17 years old and I was following the crowd, and I'm how often does that happen?
Man, there's a lot of reasons that we can talk about. I mean, that leads to doing something that you are not proud of or happy with, or you don't feel connected with somebody, but you went with your primal urge in that moment and you wish you hadn't, there's a lot to say about that. And it's it's a lack of being strong enough in a tough moment. And it can be a moment of weakness,
Very, very much so.
It can be a moment of weakness where you just need that you're looking for that connection, and almost anybody would do,
I think sometimes that connection is very hard, because that connection starts way before the bedroom. Intimacy and romance is built up throughout the day, throughout the week. It's the gestures, it's opening the door, it's having a meal together, it's having a conversation together, it's looking at each other, it's appreciating each other. So I listen, I'm not gonna get on here and preach to anybody, but
we've had our failures.
I'm not gonna get on here and preach to anybody, but I do know that my stance is that the decision should be left in that situation to the mom. And the only reason I say that is because as men, we do have the option of whether or not we are going to be present. Now, I was raised in a household where you're a man, you take responsibility, you know what to do. And if I was the type of man that was not present, oh gosh, I'm telling you right now, the first person at my door would be my mom and my sister. Like, hey, what are you doing? Get it together, because they're not going to let me move like that, because they expect more and they know that I know better. But there's a lot of men out here that don't have someone in their lives to
hold them accountable,
to pull them aside and say, hey man, you need to go take care of your family. We need more of that. And it's not like you said, we need more of that constructive criticism where people understand that, hey, I'm not picking on you. I just want you to do the right thing.
I mean, I'm all for advocacy and protection over anybody that has been outcast, taken advantage of, has no ways of protecting themselves. And it starts with the babies in the womb for me. That's what I'm saying, is like, I advocate for life. I feel like life, no matter what. I mean, there's preventative ways. I mean, even after the fact, plan B. I mean, don't wait until the second trimester to rip that baby out. That's just how I feel.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. The price of gas, them plan Bs, and now you're either looking at $47 to get you to work, or $47 to get you that pill, because they going up.
Yeah.
Them prices is skyrocketed on them things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to continuously make it like that. and make it, you know.
Bro, what I was saying is I think that they're leading us to that demolition man where they want everybody that wants to conceive to be able to have to pay a fee to get in vitro fertilization done. Like they don't want people out here freely loving.
Right?
So
now, I'd probably have to go off the grid at that point. If they had that much control,
yeah.
Y'all gonna see me with wild hair, mountain man, like a bow and arrow, talking to the deer in the woods, and I got a bug out play. Like I just feel like that's too much control. I feel like, and I'm big on that now. After coming out of the military, you get such a sense of freedom, and you realize how much control
that's all I want, bro.
Somebody had over your life and everything like that.
Freedom.
And I really feel like the roles that we play in this community, because people do come up to me and they have their opinion. There are people that I work with that are so hypocritical because they feel that because they go to church every Sunday and I'm on stage talking about BD and A, that I'm this horrible person. I'm like, you know what? You do it in your own home. It's just that you see me do it and you feel like, dang, how's he doing this? So it's not the fact that you have an issue with what I'm saying. It's the fact that you can't figure out how I'm doing it. And I've also experienced that. They use the term, oh man, you said that was crazy what you said. What are you listening to on the way to work? What are you watching on your phone? I guarantee if I went to your browser, I'd see some crazy shit too. But you're going to tell me that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come on, man.
You and I try to hold moral compass over
moral
me.
compass. And that's why the reason I'm saying that is because right now this is a moral compass issue. That's what I'm getting at. You're going to have so many people that are going to be on the left side of the fence that are going to say this, that, and the third. You're going to have people on the right side, but neither one of them have experienced maybe that issue.
I think if I was in the trenches, bro,
Yeah.
in it, I'd own it.
You'd own it.
Yeah, she wanted to have it. And I didn't, and I wasn't necessarily going to be with her.
Right.
I honestly feel like I'm going to be a good father.
You are.
So like,
You are going to be a good dad. I don't think you
if
would.
I decide to have kids.
Right. And dude, that's another thing. Pushing 40 years old, I'm realizing that there was a point in my life that has passed. And it was my 20s. And it went by like a blur. And I was here, there, and everywhere. But in my heart, I've always known that I wanted to be somebody for a child that they felt, hey, he's going to do anything for me. I can go to him for anything. He's going to love me. I don't have to be an athlete. I don't have to be a musician. I don't have to be funny. You just got to be. And I feel like the reason that is because I see the love that I give to people. I see the love that the men in my life who are influential to me, I see the way that they run their lives. And I think it's beautiful. But the scary thing is, what if that doesn't happen for me?
Yeah.
What if I'm supposed to be the cool uncle? Or
Hey,
what if, and there's a lot of people that have already made their mind up that, hey, I'm going to live my life in Thailand and I'm just going to do my, and I think that's beautiful. But whatever we do, we only got one shot.
Honestly, I've said this a lot lately. I said, whatever our plan is might not be his plan, So like whatever we have ambition for, he might be putting us in position that he wants us in to guard us against what our plan is.
That's crazy. And surrendering and just being like, God, you got this. I feel like I've been really, really strong at that in times. And other times I'm trying to push. My buddy, shout out to Sean Reed. He told me something yesterday. He said there was this quote that changed his life. And it said that I don't have problems. I just have more work to do. And he said that changed. When he told me that, that is 100% true. It is a mind state that we create. I don't have more problems. I just have more work to do. And either we can lie down and stop working.
Cry about it.
Right? Or you can stand up and get back in the fight. And when he told me that, shout out to him, I thought about it because the way this young man lives his life reminds me a lot of myself when I had that fire when I was his age, because he's positive. He's like, hey man, You need help, I'm gonna help you. You need a pick me up. And here I am, 15, 16 years older than this guy. But I'm looking up to him because of his personality, of his heart, of his character, you know? And I think that we can reach and get things from people. It doesn't have to be a tier or a class. I feel like you could get something from a child. You could get something from an older person. You can get something if you're listening and you're open to it. Yeah. And what you just said about us surrendering and us walking the path that he wants us to walk. My mom always tells me, if you want to know the truth, ask God to have his will. And that may not be what you want. It may not be the answer that you want. But if you want to know the truth, say, God, let your will be done. And that may be the complete opposite. And I know people out there right now watching, and they're like, he was just talking about going raw, and now he's talking about God having his will. But guess what? I'm human.
Hey,
and that's what happened.
Look at what God puts us through, tempts us with, challenges us.
I just heard the story about Samson, right, this morning, and I didn't know that he was tried that many times by that woman. What was her name?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember. Somebody help me out. What was Samson's woman's name? He was infatuated with her.
Cleopatra?
No. That was Egypt. But somebody type that in for me. Samson's wife's name. But she tried him so many times. She said, Samson, what's your weakness? He lied. He didn't want to tell her. He said, if you get these fresh vines and bound my hands. Her name, thank you. Her name was Delilah. Delilah. So Delilah had these vines and tied Samson's hands and bound him and had like a bunch of men try to come and kill him. He broke the vines and killed everybody. And she was like, you're not telling me the truth. What is it? What is it? So eventually he was pillow talking with Delilah back in the day. They were laying in bed together, and Samson was a man. He was 5 hands taller than every other man. He was a specimen. And Delilah just had to know, what is your weakness? And finally he told her, and that was it. So like when I heard that story this morning, it really put a lot of things into perspective, and the way the guy put it, it was so comical, but he put a spin on it. So like, man, I know that a lot of people are going to be very judgmental because of this, what we're talking about on this show. But I want to let people know the reason good preachers are good preachers are not because they're without sin. It's because they lived a life where they experienced so many different things that they can tell you, hey man, I was addicted at one point to alcohol. I was addicted to porn. I had anger issues. And the only reason you got out of that is because you fought through it and you experienced it. Now you can help mentor other people. So I don't really go for the whole thing of being judgmental, because we all have the side of us after these cameras are off, when we're home, when we're reading, when you're in your bed, when you're by yourself. That's who we deal with every day. So oh yeah, the house situation, right?
Let's roll into that. Yeah.
Everything I've been going through with that. So, of course.
We've been, all right. So you sold your house when?
I sold my house in September, November timeframe of 2021.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. And, I keep a lot of my moves silent because, one, I don't want someone to try to, give me
you're not giving out any loans, bruh.
Yeah, you're not giving no loan. What are you talking about? And like Drake said, you put it on your post. How can I address you when you don't own property?
I did put that on the post.
Get out of here. Yeah. You know how many times I've done this? Get out of here. So no.
but how you feeling right? I mean, you've been through it. We've been looking, we've been trying to find it. We had one, we lost it. Like,
right.
Now you're on one.
Right.
Tell me that roller coaster. Now you're paying, 2% more interest rate.
I am, but you know what? Thankfully, they got this thing called the IRL, the IIR. I think it's IRRL. So if anybody wants to know about that, Google that, and you know what I'm going to do. So I knew I was going to have to take a higher percentage.
But in 6 months, you're going to refi.
In 6 months, I'll knock it down. Yeah. So I knew that going into it, when me and you were looking, I knew the market was going to be tight. And what I'm saying is, hey, Scott, we found this house. Derek, let's go look at it. Let's get an offer in tonight. By tomorrow morning, we got 6 offers on the table. And some jackass has got some stupid bread, and he's like, I'm gonna go 40K over.
Yeah.
Let's go 40K. That sounds good. And I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Like, can't you go buy a damn Hellcat or something? Right. You know, so we experienced that several times. Yeah. We also were in situations where we may have been on a house and we pulled out, right? And that was the situation we were in. So basically, I had an offer in on a home, and the family that owns the home, they were not in a position where they found a home that they liked. And it was getting down to the wire, so we had to make a decision whether we were going to try to either A, give them an extension based upon some contingencies in the contract, or B, pull completely out and start back from square one. We chose B after we exhausted A. B, to me, feels right.
Dude, that is the home for you, bro.
Right.
I mean, that's got that country feel.
Everybody knows I've always wanted. I'm just like my dad.
You got pasture land in the back.
Pasture land, a little pond, some horses that come up to the fence. Right. I can shoot my gun off the back porch. everybody that really knows me knows, like, that's how I really am. And really, my family, we all enjoy doing those things. Riding motorcycles, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, having a good time. We have the best times when we're together. And my family's always been like that.
That's going to be an entertaining. Like you getting all the cars parked in there is going to be perfect. Right. Nobody's going to have any complaints.
No
about
complaints.
That.
You know,
you got that backyard area. Grill out.
If I want to bring Freaknik back,
you could do that.
People remember Freaknik in the 90s. It's going to be Freaknik up on Lizzie Gunn.
Dude, I tell you what, you ought to do the Chappelle thing. Build your little stage out there. Put the chairs up. Invite only.
It's going to
be NFT, steak and sauce NFT.
Right. It's going to be an invite only comedy show. And it, like Scott said, invite only. I'm going to have y'all out of my house, and I'm going to perform at the house. And it's going to be a small, intimate group, but it's going to be hilarious. And if you tap in and you buy a ticket, you're going to get some content that's not going to be released anywhere else. So we're gonna run that. I think that's a great idea. I think that I can get other comedians to come out and perform that night too. I think it'd be great. It would be amazing.
You can definitely get everything that you were hoping for out of that property for as long as you want it.
And
for sure,
I knew that it was a good property when I looked at it. I felt good about it in my stomach. The guy that's there, shout out to Greg Dehart. Shout out to everybody. And my grandmother, when my granny stood on the front porch and I watched her look out, I was like, you know what? We're going to be comfortable here because it's going to be me and her. Yeah. So we're going to be, and it reminds her of her home that her and my grandfather built. It looks the same. It looks like Rural Retreat, Is that where
where she's still at?
Yeah, my granny's in Rural Retreat, and they have beautiful land up there that goes up to the railroad tracks, and they have the home that she still lives in right now, they bought with $1 and a deed back in the day. Because my family, generations of my family, 3 generations, all live on the same side of the street. My great-grandfather owned a coal business. The only black man in the area at that time that owned his own coal business. So the Houstons, we delivered coal to everyone back in the day.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And my uncle, great uncles, my granddad, they were going to take over, and they ventured out to do other things. Most of my granddad's oldest brother, Sonny, went into the military. He was the oldest. He left first. And my grandfather went into the military, but they all helped out. My Uncle Jimmy, my Uncle George, they all helped. But my granddad bought the land to build his house on from his father for $1 and a deed. Yeah.
That's wild.
It's wild. Think about that.
That's like the home place.
That's the home place.
Yeah.
So you have 5 houses in a row. All of my family members owning a plot of land down the road, all the way up to the church. And they grew up together. They're cousins, first cousins, right there next door. My Aunt Ruby, my Uncle Jimmy, his family. And then the 3rd generation from that is myself, my cousin Justin, Ebony, Whitney, my sister. So the first years of my life were spent in Rural Retreat. And my granddad used to drive me down past the farms. What type of cow is that? Holstein, dairy. He would point stuff out to me like that. So I grew up, doing that kind of stuff. And I feel like times have changed so much. You've got, at one time, $1 and a deed could get you a couple acres of land and a house built. And now people are having to go $50,000, $60,000 over asking price to secure a home that they like. where when they start into it, you may be $50,000, $60,000 into it, not having any equity right now. And that's the risk that, people are taking to get the home that they want. But this house that we're talking about, when we got there, when I saw it in person, I was like, you know what? This is peaceful. This is going to give me some peace. This is going to, and we have neighbors, but they're far off.
Yeah.
They're not right. They're around, but that view,
bro, everything you're right around. You can be at the lake in 5 minutes.
Right.
You can be at Walmart in 5 minutes. That you're in the country. You feel like you're away from everything. You feel like there's privacy there. I feel like, it's just funny how things work out, isn't it?
it is.
It's just like what's meant to be will be.
Right.
Like you had something planned that didn't get. I mean, just look, whatever your plan was,
Right.
might not have been his plan.
It's crazy because I talk to my sister all the time, and I lean on her so much, and I really want her to go into the career field that she's meant to be in because she's amazing. And she puts things into perspective for me so great. And it really does help me out because sometimes we just don't have the right mindset for things. Sometimes
we need to be reminded who we are.
Who we are. Sometimes we're not looking at it. My sister told me, she said, Derek, the world needs to hear what you got to say. And when she told me like that, I was like, you're right. So every time I get a little low or feel like, hey, that might not have been the best way to deliver that or do this, I just feel like you guys have told me from the beginning, just create.
Push.
I follow people that do skits every day. They're doing it from their phone and they are blazing,
There's people out there always going to look at you like you're a joke.
Yes.
Not when you're telling a joke.
No, they think that my personality, things I say, I shouldn't be saying them. This is awkward. You shouldn't be doing this.
I got a hard time for making TikToks the other day. I'm almost 40 years old making TikToks. Like
who gives a damn?
Yeah, exactly.
Who gives a damn? I'll be 45 making TikToks.
If TikTok's still a thing, I'm just going where everybody else is at.
Right.
That's like, I don't really care to be in the in crowd. I just care where the in crowd is.
Right.
That's it.
I'm tapping in. Yes. You listen, everybody that's giving you shit are people that are sitting on their hands. They're not following their dreams. Y'all ain't doing nothing. What hobbies are you following? What are you doing other than watching what somebody else is doing and critiquing it? Go create something.
I know. Y'all can keep watching.
That's exactly what I said. Watching. You ain't got to support me. You going to watch. Listen, I'm telling you, my team knows we're on a roll. And this thing's going to take off. You can either be on my team or you can be watching. Either way, I don't care. And I don't care about
some of your haters are your biggest fans.
Haters have listen. Cat Williams said, "Why are y'all getting mad at haters? They have a damn job to do. Let them do their job. If you don't have haters, you are not doing something right." Your energy bothers people, Scott. My energy bothers people. They want to know, how do you move the way that you move? And they can't figure it out because guess what? You got more talent in your pinky finger than they have in their whole damn body. And it bothers them. And I'm okay with that. I'm past the point of worrying about ruffling feathers, somebody not liking what I say, somebody in my family thinking I shouldn't say dick, ass on here. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm going to say what I want. And if you don't like it, respect it or check it. That's what I say. I'm not saying nothing that nobody else has not said. I'm not saying anything that's so derogatory that you just can't, want to tap in. But honestly, I'm at the point now where, like I said, you can watch. It ain't about, I'm not worried about, somebody can say, well, Derek, this video only hit this video only hit that. I'm grinding. I'm not worried about the numbers right now. We're just
looking at volume right now.
I'm looking at the experience. I'm looking at how funny Zach Nagel is. I'm looking at how the smile that Tonio had on his face the last show we filmed and how much he loved that. We're creating something. I don't care what the numbers do. That's forever,
Definitely.
That video is forever. Yeah. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about us enjoying ourselves and creating something. Now, for me to say I'm not worried about the numbers, let me back up. Yes. Do I eventually want to get to
We need numbers eventually.
Yes. Do I want to get to a point where I can monetize?
We got to get views. We got to get people buying in.
Right.
That is big. But we're going to do it. We got a plan to just do it and do it and do it. I think, what was the saying, Wes? I said something like, change the strategy, not the goal. You know, like
100 episodes, right?
Yeah.
That's what y'all told me. Weston told me, Derek, if you're serious, you want me on board, we got to run 100. I said, I'll do it. And I have done more in 2022 with my hobbies than I've done the last 3 years. I thought about being on stage forever. I'm going to tell everybody out there right now, it ain't easy.
I mean, if it was easy, everybody'd do it.
Hey, when you're on stage and you're telling jokes and half the room laughs and the other half doesn't get it, it takes them a second and went over their head. Or maybe there's a woman there and she's a prude and she doesn't like what I do. Hey, you got to keep rolling. This stuff is not easy. Do I enjoy it? Yes. The reason why I'm pushing is because too many people told me, Derek, you have a gift. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to realize it and I'm going to use it. So to everybody out there that's messaged me, said something, pushed me.
Isn't it funny how long it takes us to really believe what people tell us and take action? Like, you know, if I always look back on my career, bro. Like, I got in this when I was 26 years old. I was spoiled from the jump. I got a good payday, like almost 6 months in, thought it was just going to be easy breezy, come at it, like just let it fall in my lap, don't have to work at it.
Right.
And you know, after I'd exhausted like all the people that I knew, they weren't, you know, that's just limited, right? Like the people you know are limited. I didn't go do the work to try to find the new people. If I would have done the things I should have done between 27 and 30, I'd have been that much further ahead now that I'm in this moment, you know, successful and everything.
Right.
But I would have had 3 or 4 years of that growth and income that I missed out on just being a kid, not really knowing that you needed to work, you know?
You came into the game and you piggybacked on the fact that you knew so many people in the community and you knew that you could reach out to somebody and they would trust you. Now, once all those people got homes,
I mean, that's such a limited number.
Right.
You know, I only know a limited number of people, and so many more people that I don't know needed to know who I was with the experience I was just getting and the money I was just getting. I just consumed that away and didn't do any of the marketing and the advertising that I should have been doing that I do today.
Right.
For people to know my experience, my success. You know, social proof is a lot. And I'm giving you marketing strategy here for you.
Gotcha.
You know, so like right now you've been on stage, hammer them hard. You know, I mean, you need to be promoting that paid gig in Roanoke like yesterday.
Right. What I got coming, me and LA got some flyers with actual good pictures and things that are coming up. I will be posting those soon. I'm still trying to do the micro content. I'm going through posting short snippets to get people back to the page. I looked at the analytics, Weston. I have a large percentage of people external outside of YouTube, 50% that are going to the page. I got to figure out how to tap into that YouTube base. Yeah. I'm not grabbing those people, you know, for some reason.
So they're watching, but they're not subscribing. Is that what you're saying?
They're subscribing, but most of the people that are going to my page are coming from people that are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, that I'm promoting heavily the podcast. There's a whole community of people that are on YouTube with YouTube. You know, just like if you go on YouTube right now and you're scrolling, I'm not tapping into those people that are just in the rabbit hole all the time on YouTube. And I got to figure out a way, you know, to tap into those folks. And I feel like we can do it. But I just got to figure out some different strategies. And I want people to be motivated. There's so many people that have reached out to me and said, Derek, man, love what you're doing. I support it. How can I be involved? How can I do this? How can I do that?
Show up to a show.
And I'm telling them, hey,
share my stuff.
Share my stuff.
Yeah.
Help me out. Come on the show.
There's that TikTok. Why aren't you famous yet? You're not sharing my stuff.
You're not working. But I know that I want to still tap into people that are doing great things that can help me figure out something different, that can push me. And my problem is consistency.
Everybody's problem is consistency.
My problem is consistency. I know yesterday when I got off work, all I wanted to do was go home, take a shower, and sit down. But I was like, no, you have a show. You've committed already to this show. So you got to go. And then my anxiety's on 10 before I get on stage. And as soon as I grab the mic, it goes away.
Nice.
Right? But before I get on stage, my stomach feels like Mike Tyson's taking shots on me.
Dang.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough, like to the point where like I'm like feel a little sick.
So you might need to hit the toilet, or puke kind of thing.
I took a shot.
Yeah. Hey, that'll alleviate it.
I took a shot, and then you get on stage because you work so hard to develop a set. You're writing jokes for weeks. You got to memorize them because I feel that I would not be.
Like if you had to have your phone open to read your own joke.
And there's nothing wrong with that because I see so many people doing that. Let me first say that because it does help them stay on track. But for me, what I want to do is show people how hard I'm working to put together a set, to memorize it, to know it, and to run through it successfully. No pauses, no stuttering. Nothing's wrong with that because it's happened to me. But I do my best to give, hey, this is what I've been working on.
Yeah, and you're crisp. You are like the show that I seen. There were people over there. They had their they just couldn't get that mic thing situated. Like you're so crisp. Everybody hears every word you're saying. Every punchline that you ran through, I thought was done perfectly on that first set that first show
when you were there.
Yeah,
and that was only my second show.
Yeah,
and I really feel that I want to get besides some of the greats and just be like, hey, let me pick your brain. How are you putting this together? How do you do your sets? Where are you getting, I'm not even pulling material the way that I could be. I'm creating most of it. I need to start looking into vlogs, world events.
Seriously, you should look at the headlines.
Right.
Stuff that you're passionate about. Good news, bad news, tragedy, whatever. There's a moment of maybe that's too soon to release that type of joke, but those types of jokes, when enough time comes by, you can have that in your pocket. When the time is okay now to start talking about that situation, I'm ready to go.
I want to talk about these gas prices yesterday. I had a full joke on it, and I ran over it because I chose to do another joke, but we joke about it. But I had a friend tell me, she said, Derek, have the perspective to be thankful that when you go to the gas pump, that you can actually put gas in your vehicle. We make jokes about it, but we're pumping the gas and we have enough on whatever form of payment that we have to clear what we need. So that perspective got dropped on me too. Like we can joke about, that's
still not a reason to be okay with the situation.
It's not a reason to be okay. It's not.
Even though I can pay for it, I'm not happy about being. I'm happy I can pay for it, but I'm not happy I have to pay it.
Scott's gonna get mad about this, but I'm gonna say this for all you people out there, for all you trumpets out there. Biden does not have his hand on the gas button.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Bro.
He does not listen. There's no button that he's hitting to control this thing.
He lays down in every negotiation.
He's not,
Dude, no, he does. Leadership matters.
It does matter.
Presidents are decided.
I said that because I knew you were going to get turned up.
Presidents are decided, reelected, and overthrown by the gas prices, by consumption levels, and what it costs us to pay and live. So, Biden has
he does not have his hand on the gas
I
button.
guarantee you this. If Trump had these gas prices, it would be Trump's fault. Guaranteed.
Well, I think anybody, if I had these gas prices, it'd be my fault.
Exactly. If you were in the chair, it's your responsibility to make our lives better.
That's true. But how much power?
Ukraine, Russia is a proxy war between U.S. and Russia. Ukraine is a big part of that whole situation.
It is.
That whole situation.
It is.
Russia right now is dominating oil. They're in the middle of a war. They're really sanctioning us through the manipulation of that currency, because that's what that is.
It is manipulation, and I will say that there's going to be a rise and fall to it. And I made that joke simply off the fact of the people that I talk to that get so pissed they could cry. Yeah. that, you know, these people are dormant right now, but when this new election
I mean,
comes out,
dormant is just hanging back, waiting to get their voice out there in a proper, responsible, non-threatening way.
But don't we agree that some of the things that land on these presidents' plates have been brewing well before they took the seat?
Yeah.
It just so happened to fall.
You know, but how administrations react to situations.
Okay.
I mean, look at the interest rate you're paying, bro. Government's manipulating the supply and demand. They're trying to curb people's desire to buy houses with a higher interest rate. But you know what that's going to cause? Unemployment, stagflation. JP Morgan laying off. CEO of Keller Williams let go or quit.
They're big in Charlotte, right?
Who?
Keller Williams?
They're big everywhere.
Everywhere, okay.
That's a top 5 real estate company.
Gotcha.
But things are happening based on the Fed's actions to manipulate the market for these people to think that doomsday is coming and that they got to trim all the fat off of their administration processing side of their business because they don't know what the future outcome is. Right. So just,
they're playing up on the uncertainties.
Yeah. And they're smart people.
They're very smart.
So if they're cutting people, if they're letting people go, they've forecasted that it's going to be tougher to transact. So
the people that are going to come out ahead of all this is everybody up in the mountains collecting rainwater. And you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
they got the aluminum foil helmets.
This is one of those rich get richer, poor get poorer.
Right.
You know, the destruction of the middle class type situation. You know, and I've got to have somebody to hold accountable. So who are we holding accountable if not
Bike riding Biden?
Bike riding Biden.
Bike riding Biden,
or
baby.
Non-bike riding Biden.
Yeah.
You
know what? I saw that and my back hurt because I knew what y'all were going to do with that, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, I knew what was going to happen. He can't
That's
talk.
Comedy gold. That's comedy gold.
He can't talk and he can't ride.
He can't do nothing. He can't do nothing. You know?
And, you know, at least he doesn't prefer Diet Cokes and quarter pounders, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but
that's the real man diet.
Oh, and I mean, you know, but you know, I knew they were going to have a field day.
Oh yeah, of course.
When he took his spiel, you know?
I mean, they had a field day when Trump was scooting down the little runway and
Right.
almost slipped.
Yeah,
you know. It's just funny. It's funny how scrutinized these people are, and how if you're on one side you don't give them any of the blame, and then you're on the other side you give them all the blame.
Isn't you know, I'm kind of impartial. I feel that their monster is a lot bigger than the people that we put in these positions. I feel like it's a hoax. I feel like they put these people in these positions because we have to have the illusion of structure.
I think Reggie would say that's probably right.
The illusion of structure is what keeps me from going up to everybody that said something to me in high school and beating y'all's ass. Why? I can do it, but it's just the fact the structure will not allow me to do that because we're not supposed to do that, right? We're not, you know.
You don't want a 6x6 cell with bars in front of you. You know,
the illusion of structure. So because that happens, I feel like it's a wing on the same bird, right? They might not touch, but it's on the same bird, and I feel like they do this because people have to feel that we have a choice, that we have a choice at the polls, that we have. I'm telling y'all right now, Biden and Trump smoke weed together. And y'all think that it's such an opposing situation. No, they run hose and smoke weed. And we're up here tearing each other's throats out over red and blue. Over sides, and they're laughing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're laughing. I'm telling y'all.
I agree with that.
You know, and I'm not saying that it's not important that we shouldn't take this seriously and stuff like that, but I just feel that there are rooms and lines, and Reggie would agree, that we will never be in where the truth is unfolded.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. I mean the actual power of the world,
the structure,
the power in the world that controls the structure that we currently have. Is making decisions, and I think that's for sure.
Like I was talking to my sister, I was like, The Matrix, the movie, Reggie probably knows this, was the plot for the movie was written by a black woman, and I forget her name. They stole it and created that movie. But basically, she was writing it from a standpoint of, what is it called when you write a standpoint of like your personal experience? Biography?
Yeah.
I guess.
So.
That may
first
be wrong.
person? First person?
So when you really look into it,
so she wasn't narrating the story. It was actually a story coming from her perspective.
That's
about, first person.
About the Matrix, about how our day to day, how we interact, this bubble that we're in, this work until you're 65, 15, 20 years max after that. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about breaking away out of this bubble. And I really feel like I'm not a person that believes in a lot of conspiracy theories. There are a few that I hold near and dear, but I do know that when you cause civil unrest, when you have situations where we're in 2022, and if I go out to a bar and I yell, "Fuck Trump," I better start putting my back to the wall because there's going to be a problem. And I feel like the reason why they create that is because it keeps our heads in the sand.
I'd be interested to see if that caused as much harm as you thought.
Oh, I guarantee there's some towns in America I could go into right now, and somebody would want all the smoke with me over that. Trump's getting reelected. You heard, what's today's date?
June something, 2022. I mean,
June 24th.
So you're predicting him riding back on his white horse and taking the throne, huh?
Facts.
I think he
and
is
you know
too.
what? He's going to be stepping on the backs of this. They will line up. You remember when Xerxes and 300 stepped off his throne and the guys leaned into each other so he could step on their backs? That's how he's going to walk into the White House when he gets reelected. It's going to be that same throne with the dragons and everything on it. He's going to have a gold ring in his nose, and he's going to have freaking gold paint. And he's going to step right. I'm telling you, he's going to get reelected. A lot of people might get mad at that, but people are so convinced that he is the savior, that they will not have high gas prices, that they will not have chlamydia, that they will not have all of these things that they have in their lives. If Trump is in office, I'm telling you, they're going to push so hard, it's going to happen. I'm like the Simpsons. I'm predicting.
All right, man. So let's say it does happen.
Yep.
And prices come down, American jobs go up, and life becomes better, and relationships between humans of all races in this country,
we need to love,
become better. We're going to come in here and you're going to give him credit.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, the world continues to deteriorate.
Blast his ass.
We're going to sit here together and we're going to talk about it.
We're going to figure out a plan.
And we're going to say how wrong that whole situation is and was, and that he had no control and no effect over it. Our leaders I'm going to sit here and predict that the leadership that we put in place as a country absolutely matters. If wars end and conflict ends because of how the world perceives him, we give him credit. If the world goes to shit, he gets the blame.
If we backed up a little bit, I heard a lot of people when President Obama was elected, they turned their headphones off just off the perception of what he looked like, right?
And that's wrong.
That's completely wrong, right? Because we are conditioned in America to see certain things a certain way. And when something is different, we point it out. A lot of people didn't even give that man the time of day because of what he looked like and his last name and all these other things.
I don't know, man.
They never took into account what he did.
I think 70 million people showed up and was excited.
They did, but I'm talking about what I heard. No one
what you experienced.
What I experienced. No one wanted to say, hey, this is a very distinguished man who has a lot of outside of the presidency. Look what he's done for himself. But they wanted to praise a guy that he's a damn talk show host. And we hold him up in a higher regard than anybody else.
I mean, as far as presidents goes,
What I'm getting at is I want to know what's in the sauce. And we talked about this before.
So we'll get to experience that if he actually can reclaim the throne. You know, I like to. That's cool terminology. I just like to throw.
Hey, the crown is in your heart, not on your head. You know what I'm saying?
So if he can get there, put policy in place, affect change, bring us together, end conflict, bring peace back. You know, end the, you know, the problems that we have, or make the problems that we have better, so people have more chance of prosperity. Let's just keep our eye on it. Let's keep an open mind about it. Let's hope that somebody can do that. Let's hope somebody can do that.
And I want that, because we joke about it right now, but there are people out there right now that are experiencing very hard times. And I'm mindful of that. I know that if I work every day and I'm like, every time I go to the pump, what is it with that single mom that has to get to her job? What is it for that single dad that's got to, you know,
anybody on a budget,
anybody, right? Anybody that this is not directly affecting, and all the jokes and stuff that we make about it. I just had a disagreement with a friend of mine. That's why I said somebody doesn't have, there's no gas button pump, there's no button. But the reason I say that is because everybody has a suggestion without the solution.
Well, the solution is being energy independent and not relying on foreign people to provide us oil.
We could do that.
We can. We've done it. We were doing it, and it got shut down. So now we, you know, adhere to the OPEC, you know, control.
Right. You know, and if he does get reelected and he takes back the throne, I don't want none of you jokers coming up to me talking about he's your president. Yes, he is. But don't let your president get your ass whipped. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you can keep your opinions, and I don't have a problem with it. I don't care if Bad Bunny runs for the presidency. I just want us to be in a state where things get fixed, where we have the right facilities and schools and technology and healthcare, and everybody has a fair shot, and people that's all I want.
The government's role is to provide opportunity for the free market to thrive. Make sure that it's fair. Make sure that the people that can't protect themselves get the protections that they need, and then game on.
And I truly feel, and I'll say this, I don't feel that putting such strict laws on gun ownership or the type of weapons that can be available is going to prevent any mentally unstable person, criminal, whatever, from doing what they want to do. Criminals don't care about buying guns legally in the first place. So when you limit good people and the access that they have to defend themselves, to train, to have an AR-15, to train the proper way, to do it for sport, to do it for whatever reason.
Denying concealed carry permits.
Right. You're going to have a situation where we're running around with butter knives, and these jokers.
But that'll happen. That will happen.
And these jokers are standing on the side of you with an AR-10, and you're going to lose.
I'm saying either way, even if all the guns were gone, they'd be bringing out knives. They would be still causing chaos in some way. Human life would be lost when someone mentally out of it is on a rampage to hurt people. They're gonna hurt people.
They're gonna hurt people. They've already decided that's what they want to do. I want to keep the way we have it, where you do the right thing, you do the right paperwork. You've done things in your life to keep your background straight. You're doing this to protect your wife. Your wife's protecting the kids. You're protecting your neighbors. You're protecting yourself. The teachers are protecting the students. And I think we should really dip into a situation where, you know, hey, if we don't have enough police force, let's create a private security company where we train guys and put them in the schools.
Check out this analogy. I can't remember if Reggie told us this or who told me this, but imagine one person going into a bank that can control 20 people. One gun controls 20 people in the bank. If those 20 people also had the guns, the one with the gun would be toast. He's done. He's either going to put that in his holster and walk away, or he's going to be down.
You're getting lit up.
Yeah,
you're getting lit up, and I feel maybe I have a different edge because my military background. But you fight fire with fire. You're not going to get in a situation where
too many soft targets out here.
Too many. I'm not going to be one. I feel that I don't want smoke with anyone or a bad situation, but I really feel like as in this world, I feel like you should protect yourself. You should be vigilant. You should be aware of where you're going, your surroundings, and what's going on. And I do not feel that every time something happens, we want to attack other things in the source, right? The assault rifles and stuff like that is not the issue, right? Like I said, anybody that wants to get their hands on something is going to be able to do it. We need to make sure that the good people, the people that are in these positions, have the capabilities to protect themselves.
These people are mostly consumed by an environment that doesn't love them. They don't feel love.
Right.
They've gotten some sort of position in life that they are deficient in almost everything that's supposed to keep you from being that in that situation, whatever you want to call that, like sick.
Right.
Like they are sick over something, and it's mainly they've not been properly loved.
Right.
They don't have their needs met in some way.
Childhood traumas.
Yeah.
Different things, and I just really feel bad for anybody that's put in a situation to have the fear. I know what it feels like to fear something happening to you that could take your life. I know what it feels like to feel defenseless. I know what it feels like to feel like
you have no control.
You have no control. Everything's turned upside down. And the only thing I'm saying is, and when those situations happen, I would want people to be in a position to equal the odds,
Well, bro, I could sit here and talk to you for a couple more hours.
I know we're running.
It's going to be a little extra work for Weston to chop this one up.
Weston's like, damn it, Derek.
Y'all hurry up.
You're just talking.
But, dude, I want to talk to, we got some things to talk about still. So
we do.
Get up. All right. What do you say? July 13th?
Let me plug a few things right quick. Number one, if you have not subscribed to Finding Your Place with Scott Bunn on YouTube, get off your ass, go there now, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit the notifications so that you can know when he posts something new. Second of all, get your ass up, go on YouTube and subscribe to Steak and Sauce Podcast.
Steak and Sauce.
Subscribe, please. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy it. On top of that, I have some events coming up. I will be at All Sports Bar and Grill July 13th at 8 p.m. Please come out. It's going to be a great show. I have some other shows that are getting lined up. I will post those at a later date. I just want to make sure those are concrete. We're working. We have a lot of shows coming up. I'm going to be going to different areas, Roanoke, Greensboro. So just be on the lookout. I will still continue to contact Bull and Bone so I can get on the card there. I would like to be a regular there. I'd like to be a closer.
And that could be where you work all your stuff out.
Right. That's right here in my backyard. And I love the fact that people can come out and continuing to work with Mark Mitchell, LA. I know we're going to put our heads together, and I'm just very, very thankful and appreciative of the support that they are giving me. So thank you guys. Also Doc, also Robbie, everybody that has helped me start this journey, this career. So I appreciate it.
We are excited to see you grow, my brother, and we're proud of you. All right, guys, appreciate the support. We'll see y'all next time.